Hello, Sarah, aka the Business Fixer here. So, as promised, I am live today rather than Thursday. So, well, I think it's an interesting result that we have woken up to this morning. I would love to hear your thoughts in terms of, are you surprised that Labour has won the general election? Are you pleased that they've won it? What is your position? Now, I always know that politics is always a dangerous topic to be talking about, but it is an important topic because ultimately whoever is in power has a direct impact in terms of our businesses, because we want to know, what are they actually going to do? And I don't know about you, but when I started looking through the policies to decide who I was going to vote for, one of the key things I was looking at was what each party was going to do in terms of for business owners. And I was going through the Labour Party manifesto, and I don't know about you, but I thought it was incredibly wishy-washy in terms of what they actually proposed to do. The only things that became apparent is that they're going to keep the corporation tax capped at 25%, that they want to reform the business rates system so that it's a more of an even playing field for small businesses compared to obviously the high street giants, and that they wanted to make it easier for small businesses to get paid on time. Now, what I would like to know is, well, how does that even actually come into reality? So how on earth are you going to be able to help businesses get paid on time? Because ultimately part of the challenge, and I have had challenges over the years where I haven't paid suppliers on time. I hold my hands up on that. And that is usually down to my own cash flow because I haven't been paid by people. So if I'm not being paid, then how am I then going to be able to pay my suppliers? And this is a challenge that I see with every business at this moment in time, that cash flow is being absolutely stretched. The general costs of running a business have increased, and a lot of businesses haven't actually increase the cost of what they're charging their clients, or some have, and then other businesses can't afford it. There is a real question mark in terms of the economic position right now. So what I really want to know is, how on earth are they going to be able to make it so that businesses pay on time? What is this new business rate system that they are going to be implementing? Because none of that is actually, from what I can see, is actually being explained. The only thing that seems to be clear is about the corporation tax side of things. But I would love to hear your thoughts in terms of, do you think Labour are going to help small businesses? Do you think it's going to make it harder for small businesses? Do you think that they're very clear on within their manifesto in terms of what their intentions are? And ultimately, are you surprised by the result? I would love to hear your comments. So where I live, the Conservative has the Conservative member has retained their seat. But what I found quite interesting was when I looked at the percentage in terms of who voted for what party. What was quite interesting is 25% of the constituency that I live in voted for reform. And I think the one thing that is crystal clear is that the nation has tried to say something to our government. Now, the other concern and the other thing that has surprised me, and I can't remember the exact percentage, but a massive percentage of people didn't even go out and vote at all. And I think there can be this mentality of, well, there's no point voting because my vote won't make a difference. Well, I think you can see by today's, or the result that's come in overnight, it can make a difference. And One of these things that, when I went to vote yesterday, that really kind of crossed my mind is it wasn't that long ago that women couldn't vote at all. So for me, I think I've now got that right to vote. And, and I'll be truthful, when I read all of the policy, when I read the kind of overview of the policies for each party, I was like, well, there are parts that I agree of different parties, but there's not one party that I agree with all of their policies. So I had to kind of basically pick one of the, what was the one that had the most policies that I would potentially agree with. But the question that and the big thing that I would say is, well, it's all well and good putting these policies, but are they actually going to be implemented? What change are we actually going to see? And only time will tell. But I would love to hear what your perspectives are on, do you agree with, are you pleased that Labour are in? Are you surprised that they're in? Are there any key policies that you are looking out for? I certainly look out for the business side, because ultimately that's one of the biggest things that impacts me personally. Yes, things like the NHS, of course, that has a direct impact as well. It'd be lovely to, have more GP appointments. It'd be lovely to actually go and see your GP rather than it all be by telephone these days. There are things like that. But I just want to hear your thoughts, because I think this could be a very monumental day, or it could be a case of nothing really changes and we are all still deeply unhappy with how the country is going to be run. Do you have faith in Keir Starmer? Do you have faith in the Labour government that they're going to make the real changes that are needed? Make sure you share your thoughts in the comments, and let's really kind of drill down on what we think they're going to do for our businesses, because business, and I'm a firm believer of this, small business is literally the cornerstone, in my view, of the economy. If you don't support small business, then ultimately that is one of the biggest impacts on our economy. So maybe that's part of the reason why our economy is struggling so much, is because the lack of support for small business. And in all honesty, there just doesn't seem to be much that is said about business and supporting business, in my view, in the Labour's manifesto. So let's see what the future holds, and I would love to hear your comments. So make sure you share your thoughts in the comments, and see what debates start occurring as a result. Well, thank you guys for listening. Just wanted to share some perspectives, and it's definitely going to be an interesting time.